I really wanted to turn back to the patient and think about what happens with weight. So this is just an example of one of my patients in clinic. And as you can see, with time, they have gradually gained weight, sometimes caused by particular life events, and sometimes just through what's happening in life. And the problem I think we've all had before is that both us as healthcare workers and the patient have wanted to lose all this weight when they've decided that they want to lose weight very rapidly, and aren't happy to go back at the rate that they've gained the weight. And that's been very difficult to find out interventions that can help them do that. The first things that we turn to are diets. And as you can see, if you do turn to a diet, you can lose weight, and with low calorie diets, you can rapidly lose weight, as shown with the yellow line. But actually, with all of these diets, there is this rebound of the weight tending to go back on. And some of that is down to what Sadif was talking about, with the drive for hunger, the drive for feeling that they need to eat more. And that's the real problem with diet, is that they have this yo-yo of losing weight with the diet and then regaining. The other thing that is always argued about, and quite often, quite passionately, is whether there is a diet out there that's better than any other diet. And currently, there doesn't appear to be any diet that's proven to be better in the population. There are some people who find that one diet is better than the other, and this is nicely shown in this paper, where you can see that they've compared usual diet. They compared the 3 diets to usual diet, and what the weight loss has been down here on the left-hand axis, that the average weight is around about 5 kilograms they're losing. But then if you compare each of the diets together, so high fat to low fat or low fat to moderate reductions, you can see that actually there's really no difference between them. So although diets can cause some loss in weight, we're not seeing any diet being much better than the others. And that can be frustrating when continually they're getting messages each year that one's better, you ought to buy this book, you ought to do this, you ought to get this, because this is a much better diet. So in summary, for diets, I think what we can say is that the average weight loss isn't as much as we would hope. So it's roughly 2 to 5 kilograms. And with time, even that small amount of weight that's lost is seen to be regained. And that there is really no evidence that one diet is better than another diet. And what that, of course, led was a drive to see if there were other things that we could do to help these individuals with the weight. And one of those things was bariatric surgery. So I'll move swiftly on to bariatric surgery. So first to say that with almost everything that we're going to talk about going forward, there are restrictions that are placed on who can actually have these. And perhaps we can have a discussion about whether that's appropriate or not appropriate. But for weight loss surgery, we're saying that people who have a BMI of greater than 40 can have surgery. If you're between BMI of 35 and 40, you need to have another medical problem to have that, unless you have diabetes, which it actually drops to a BMI of 30. And what we know is that there are 4 different types of operations that are offered on the NHS. In terms of that, one's a balloon. So we place something that we blow up inside the stomach, and that's there for about 6 months and can cause weight loss. The problem with that is that once the balloon's taken out, is that the weight does tend to regain. And then you have the operations that are meant to be there to maintain a good weight loss. So you have a gastric band, which sits around and causes, people used to think it caused restriction, but actually just causes better feedback to the system, which I think that Barbara is going to go on to talk about these systems. And that helps with weight loss, and you can adjust how much the weight goes. Then you have sleeve, that we remove some of the stomach. And again, that seems to be working by feedback of hormones, causing weight loss. And then the oldest one is the gastric bypass, in which we alter the way the food goes. And again, that seems to signal through hormones, causing weight loss. And we can get significant weight loss that stays off. So what it does seem to be able to do is it seems to be able to set the time point. So this is the longest study that has looked at this. So this is the Swedish obesity study. And you can see that we've got data out to 20 years with people who've had the gastric bypass, which is the GBP, and the people who've had the banding. And you can see that they're roughly losing somewhere between 20 and 30% of the weight, and they're managing to keep that off. Although that sounds all wonderful, what we've noted of late is really that although we're getting things better and we're getting weight off, so if you take this person who's got a weight that's got medical problems, is we are trading some of that through the surgery to have some other problems that can come up. So although we can get diabetes better and sleep apnea better, things like that, we don't have very much impact on blood pressure or lipids, but we can also cause people to have vitamin deficiency, problems with the way that they manage oxalate, and more recently we're starting to see people with low blood sugars. So it gives benefits, but can actually cause problems. And that's probably why people have looked for other things such as drugs. And I'll stop there to let someone talk about drugs.